In today's video, I'm going to show you all of the Pokemon who drop the most Herba Mysticas. Herba Mysticas are the most important ingredient when making Sparkling Power 3 sandwiches, which give you the biggest boost when you're shiny hunting. But if you're watching this video, you probably already knew that. But do you know which Pokemon drop the most Herba Mysticas? Stay tuned. Pokemon are not created equally, and that is also true when it comes to Herba Mystica drop rates. There are specific Pokemon who drop more Herba Mysticas than others, and it differs whether it's a 5-star or a 6-star raid. And if you're anything like me, I can't keep track of which Pokemon have the highest Herba drop rates. So I wanted to make this video as a reference for you, and honestly for me, when you're going for all of those Herba Mysticas. I created a very similar guide in this video early on in my YouTube career, but it only included the new Teal Mask Tera raids. So I thought it would be the most beneficial to the community if I create a screenshotable image that included all of the Pokemon. Now that the Indigo Disk has come out, we will not be getting another DLC and no new Pokedexes. That means no new raids. So this will be your end-all, be-all guide for farming Herba Mysticas. Before I go over the Pokemon, I want to address a misunderstanding that I saw last time I made a video like this. And to be honest, I don't think I answered that question the best. So how do Herba Mystica drop rates work? Let's look at a 5-star Avalugg raid. 5-star Avalugg has a 2.4% chance to drop a salty Herba Mystica. When you defeat a raid, you get a list of rewards. There's guaranteed rewards, meaning you will get these highlighted rewards every time you defeat a 5-star Avalugg. But there's also additional rewards that can drop random items. Items like treasures, ability capsules, bottle caps, and what we care about, Herba Mysticas. The items on the left side of your screen are the guaranteed rewards, and the items on the right side of the screen are the additional rewards. There's 6 guaranteed rewards. Every 5-star raid you defeat, you will get the items on the left side. On the other hand, or should I say screen, there's 10 additional rewards that can be anything, like we discussed earlier. Of those 10 additional rewards, each of those have a 2.4% chance to drop a salty Herba Mystica for a 5-star Avalugg. That's why you're able to get multiple Herba Mysticas per raid, because each additional reward has that 2.4% chance of an Herba Mystica. So you can think of it this way. If you have a 2.4% chance for one salty Herba Mystica from a 5-star Avalugg, and there's 10 chances, i.e. the 10 additional rewards, you can say you have a 24% chance to get at least one Herba Mystica per raid. But you could technically have all of your additional rewards be all Herba Mysticas, so 10 Herba Mysticas in a raid. We won't do the math because it's pretty much a 0% chance of happening, but technically it is possible. Same thing can be said about a 6-star raid, except at a 3% chance instead of a 2.4% chance. So again, of the 10 additional drops, you can have about a 30% chance to get at least one Herba Mystica versus a 24% chance from a 5-star raid. But if you're lucky enough, you can get at least one Herba Mystica per raid. Or you can be like me and be unlucky and not get any for a raid. It's all numbers, it's all chances. Okay, this is all important because the plot thickens. Let's use Snorlax as an example this time. Snorlax differs from Avalugg because Snorlax is one of the few Pokemon who can drop all of the Herba Mysticas. It can drop bitter, salty, spicy, sweet, or sour. For a 5-star Snorlax, each Herba Mystica has a 2.4% chance of dropping, or a 12% chance of any of the additional rewards to be an Herba Mystica. Did you catch that? Avalugg only had a 2.4% chance to have a Herba Mystica as a reward, but Snorlax has a 12% chance to have a Herba Mystica as a reward. That's because Snorlax drops all 5 Herbas, when Avalugg only drops 1. We can compare even further, but be mindful because the drops are more complicated than what I'm trying to explain. We said that Avalugg had a 24% chance to drop at least one salty Herba Mystica because of its 2.4% chance and the 10 additional rewards. Well, Snorlax has a 12% chance to drop any Herba Mystica, and with 10 additional rewards, that's a 120% chance to get at least one Herba Mystica as a reward. And from your experience, I'm sure you've defeated a 5-star Snorlax and did not get a single Herba Mystica. So as you can see, the math doesn't really add up because it breaks the scale. 100% should be the highest possible probability of something happening. So the drop rates are a little more complicated than what I'm trying to explain here, and it probably deserves its own video at this point. It's complex. I hope I didn't hit any of you with my confuse ray. Just know that of all of the possible 5 and 6 star raids, there's a handful of Pokemon that have dramatically higher odds because they can drop all 5 Herbas when the majority of Pokemon raids can only drop one kind. Now, if you're looking for specifically, let's say, salty Herba Mysticas, then what I'm saying doesn't apply, because regardless if it's a 5-star Avalugg or a 5-star Snorlax, both have a 2.4% chance for a salty Herba Mystica specifically. Snorlax just has that additional opportunity to give you the other 4 Herbas. Before we jump into the Pokemon raids you want to focus on for the best Herba Mystica drop rates, if you're enjoying the content, if you're able to like the video and subscribe to the channel, it really helps me out in my battle against the dreaded 7-star YouTube algorithm. I primarily post raid builds highlighting Pokemon who can easily beat 5, 6, and even 7-star raids, so check out the rest of the channel if you need help winning raids. Because if you have lots of good raid builds, that means you can win more raids consistently, which means you can get more Herba Mysticas at a quicker rate. Okay, plug over, back to the video. So let's look at Pokemon who are similar to Snorlax. As in, all of these Pokemon we are going to display can drop all of the 5 Herba Mysticas. So these are the specific raids you want to be defeating to get the most Herbas at the most efficient pace. Let's go over the 5-star raids first. So these have a 2.4% chance to give any of the Herba Mysticas. First, from Paldea, you want to focus on 5-star Drifblim, Glalie, Gengar, Electros, Amoonguss, Blissey, Cetidin, and Dondozo. And from the Teal Mask Kitakami, you want to focus on 5-star Snorlax, Dusknoir, Mandibuzz, and Basculegion. And from the new Indigo Disk Blueberry Academy, you want to focus on 5-star Lapras, Kingdra, and Malamar. And now for 6-star raids. These have a 3% chance to give you any Herba Mystica. From Paldea, you want to focus on 6-star Amoonguss, Blissey, Cetidin, Dondozo, Vaporeon, and Farigiraf. And from the Teal Mask Kitakami, you want to focus on 6-star Snorlax, Basculegion, and Poliwrath. And lastly, from the Indigo Disk Blueberry Academy, you want to focus on 6-star Lapras, Kingdra, Malamar, Slowbro, Alolan Muck, and Porygon 2. So as you can see, it can get quite confusing to keep track of each Pokemon, because a Pokemon like 5-star Poliwrath only drops spicy Herba Mysticas, but 6-star Poliwrath drops all of the Herba Mysticas. So it differs depending on if they're a 5 or 6-star raid. But then there's the easy Pokemon like Basculegion, who drops all the Herba Mysticas regardless of if it's a 5 or 6-star raid. So those Pokemon are a little easier to keep track of. So if you hate remembering which Pokemon and which star level raid you need to keep track of, try to remember at least these Pokemon: Amoonguss, Blissey, Cetidin, Dondozo, Snorlax, Basculegion, Lapras, Kingdra, and Malamar. Because those Pokemons drop all the Herbas regardless if it's a 5 or 6-star raid. Or, if you don't want to remember any of those Pokemon, screenshot the image on your screen now, so you'll have it available when you're trying to grind those Herba Mysticas. If you made it this far into the video, I just want to say thank you all so much for watching. Leave me a comment down below of what your first Indigo Disk Shiny was. And if you're new here, I promise my community when we hit 1,000 subscribers, we will be tier listing every single Pokemon in Scarlet and Violet that you should be using when raiding. And there's about 700 to 800 Pokemon in the game now. So we'll break down which Pokemon you should be using to win those 5 and 6-star raids and get all of them Herbas. So subscribe so you don't miss out on that. We'll be live streaming it here on YouTube with chat, and it'll get posted into an edited video at a later date. I hope to see you in the live chat or the comment section. Thanks again for watching. Until next time, see ya.